Greetings, everyone. This is the open house presentation for CP World and U.S. History. My name is Mrs. Small, and I'm going to give you some highlights of our course at Lincoln High School. CP U.S. History and World History is a 10th grade course. It is a hybrid course that combines the most engaging topics in modern world history with an exploration of the foundations of U.S. history. During our first semester, we will study some of the most powerful forces unleashed by the modern world. Later, we will see how these forces resulted in the extreme politics and world wars of the 20th century. So, I would like to just point out that up to this point, our students have studied the scientific revolution, the Enlightenment, and these were major forces leading to the French Revolution. We are in this topic of world history, and it'll bring us to then unravel the other forces that were in motion that will lead us to nationalism and imperialism and then to the world wars. The second semester, our students study U.S. history from its colonial beginnings to the crisis of the Civil War. Why do we study this? Because by exploring the ideas, passions, and struggles of earlier societies, we can understand more about ourselves and the world around us. We can better engage as problem solvers in our world. If we analyze the causes and effects of historical events, we can understand that history does not just happen, rather, it is made by people on a daily basis. The core values of Lincoln High School in regards to the academic and civic expectations are thoroughly integrated into this course. Students will be thoughtful communicators who will read, write, listen, and speak effectively in preparation for careers or college. Students will demonstrate continuous efforts of proficiency in all the requirements for graduation, particularly in the successful completion of 2 common tasks in this course. Students will assume responsibility for their actions, both behaviorally and academically. Students will contribute to the well-being of the wider community through service. They will see how their knowledge of history contributes to them becoming a more informative citizen in our society and be able to make connections between even current news events and forces that were unleashed in the past. Students recognize their importance as participating members of American society within a global context. How very important it is for people to recognize their own history and how that impacts the rest of the world. Here we have a look at our scope and sequence for the 10th grade World and U.S. History course. So as you can see, it's broken down into 4 quarters. The first semester is concentrated on world history, and the third and fourth quarter of the second semester focuses on U.S. history. So the scope and sequence of world history begins in the 9th grade. And now, as 10th grade students, they are finishing up a year and a half of world history. Therefore, in the first quarter, we have now engaged in the study of the French Revolution and the precursors leading to that event. Students will be studying the Industrial Revolution, nationalism, and imperialism. In the second quarter, we will study World War I and its impact on the Russian Revolution, the Great Depression, the rise of dictators throughout Europe, which lead to World War II, and then to the Cold War. In the second semester, beginning with the third quarter, we now begin the study of U.S. history. The study of U.S. history begins in the 10th grade, second semester, and it goes throughout the 11th grade. And therefore, the units of study are broken up this way. So you can see here in the third quarter, we begin with the study of Native Americans and colonial society, the revolutionary foundations of independence, with a strong focus on seminal U.S. history documents such as the Declaration of Independence, the Articles of Confederation, and the U.S. Constitution. And as we go through the curriculum, other important U.S. history documents. And the third quarter ends with Jacksonian democracy, the beginning of the electoral system that we are going through at this moment with the national conventions and primaries. The fourth quarter begins with the Second Great Awakening, a religious revival throughout the American colonies, and the antebellum period, the period of antebellum reforms, which lead to sectionalism in this country, the division between North and South, the division between the state and the federal level, the issue of slavery. And this leads us to study the crisis that leads to the Civil War. And pretty much we end with the Civil War or the beginnings of Reconstruction in the 10th grade. Throughout the course, I do demand that students have mutual respect for one another and their teachers. At the present time, I am teaching from home virtually, and Mr. Adam Zott is the long-term substitute in the classroom. Mutual respect has everything to do about their complete behavior in terms of their virtual attendance, their comments on the chat, their preparation in class, their discussion, and the way they treat one another. So mutual respect in the classroom is very important to me as a teacher and to our classroom community. Attendance is vital. We're now in a virtual hybrid situation. I highly encourage students to attend class to the best of their ability, especially on virtual Mondays, which often sometimes not as many students are signing on, yet work is assigned, and my expectations is that all work be completed. Preparedness. Preparedness has to do with the students' preparation for the assignments as they are given and that homework is completed in a timely fashion. Honesty and integrity. All work must be completed to the student's best ability. They are not to cheat or plagiarize other sources online. I'm looking for their best work. And finally, excused absences. Of course, there may be medical conditions or medical issues that emerge that when they happen, the student will have an excused absence. After that, I expect that work will be completed after we have some kind of communication on how the student is doing and we set an appointed time for any assessments to be made up. Please refer to the syllabus for more detailed information. This is just a cursory overview of the course. Finally, I have included here the Google Classroom link for Period A and for Period B. And if you would like to see something interesting that our students have done, actually it was our first class assignment. Since it was the subject of this course was world history, I began with the question, where in the world are you from? So that they have a sense that, yes, even they as Americans are from some place in the world. Some are first generation Americans or some are immigrants. But even if you and your family have been here a while, have ancestors that have come from other countries. So when you click the link, it will take you to our Google Classroom page, and you'll find when you scroll down that there is an assignment titled "Where in the World Are You From?" And it was a Jamboard assignment, and you can tell from this assignment that the students were able to give including myself and Mr. Zott, kind of a presentation about where they are from in the world and talk about their family and where they have visited, and any particular features that they wanted to include in their presentation. They would talk about special food, special significant things that are very peculiar to their family or from their heritage. Going back to our presentation now, I have left these two Google links so you could take a look at the Google Classroom, and you can take a look at that. So I hope this was a good overview of the course and what is learned in the course. Thank you for watching my presentation. Please complete the survey if you have any general comments, questions, or concerns, and I look forward to meeting you during parent-teacher conferences. Thank you.